European Union in our missions use very clear guidelines and strict methodologies when observing elections. They're constantly being improved, and they can be found on the internet, online, for everyone to have a look at the details if you're interested. We also make recommendations after elections which will be widely shared, because in every country and in every election there is room for improvement. Our assessment will look at the way in which Kenyan laws and international law are upheld and respected in practice during the entire election process, during the campaign, on election day, as well as afterwards. We deploy a strong mission of experts, long-term observers, short-term observers, which operates strictly impartially and independently. Long-term observers are not only here in Nairobi, but in many places across Kenya. An advanced team arrived in April already to also have an impression of the primaries process. We'll be deploying a total of 30 long-term observers, 32 short-term observers that include people from different EU member states, Norway and Switzerland. They will be joined by local observers from the diplomatic community, as well as a delegation of members of European Parliament. We observe, but the organization, the safety and the integrity of these elections are the responsibility of the relevant state bodies here. It is evident how much the campaign is already leading to lively discussions in Kenya, civil society, in the media, online and at kitchen tables. Kenyans are very much aware of the significance of their right to vote. A lot has changed since previous elections that have left scars. The new constitution seeks to ensure a balance of power, the inclusion of minorities, and it sees, quote, public participation as a value, end of quote, and includes important provisions on the inclusion of women. It will be a key moment to see how the provisions foreseen in the constitution will play out in practice. I would like to end by saying that it is no secret that there are concerns about the possible outbreak of violence. This is not inevitable, and it is clear that it would create a situation where everybody loses. There's a responsibility for each and everybody to grant each other the right and safety to vote according to his or her conscience. But this responsibility grows in proportion to the influence different actors have over the 2017 elections. It is in turn our responsibility as the EU Election Observation Mission to make an honest and impartial assessment of the integrity of the process and the extent to which people's political rights are upheld. The fact that the EU has sought to deploy such a large mission is testimony to the significance of the August 8th elections. Our findings will be first presented in a preliminary statement that we expect to be able to present a few days after the elections. But our team will stay on in Kenya to monitor the results and possible appeals as part of our entire monitoring process. We're here. We're open to your questions today, but also going forward, and we will share our work on social media to make sure we can show the people of Kenya in a transparent way who we are and what we're working on. Thank you.
Thank you very much. We're now open to questions if you have them. Somebody will be circulating with a microphone, so if you could just indicate, and when you ask a question, if you could let us know who you are and where you're from. Thanks very much indeed.
My name is Geoffrey Musoko. I write for the Standard newspaper. I have two questions, or rather clarifications. From your statement, you say it's clear there are signs of a likelihood of violence during the elections or even after elections. What informs that fear that there might erupt violence if the country will lose? Two, you since you started your work, you've met the main protagonists in these elections, especially the incumbent and the opposition leaders. From your discussions, what is it that as the EU you're getting from them in terms of not just their preparedness to and commitment to a peaceful and fair and credible election, but in terms of them probably accepting the results and allowing, especially the government side, allowing an environment for free, fair and credible elections?
Do we take one by one?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you for your question. I just want to be clear about what I said in my opening remarks, and that is that it has come to my attention, and I don't think it's a secret, that there are people in Kenya that are concerned about violence. I think that that's clear, but I think it is not inevitable. And it is everyone's responsibility to grant each other the right to vote according to how he or she wishes to vote. But of course, people with more responsibility, institutions with more responsibility, have a special role in these elections. And those are the kinds of conversations we are having with government representatives, representatives of the political parties and coalitions, the IEBC, but civil society as well. And we're now at a stage of gathering information, looking at specific details. And it is not now the moment to draw conclusions from that, because we're still, before the elections, and a lot of work is still being worked on.
Question. My name is Hassan Bugambi from Citizen TV. Mine is in regards to the advanced team that you say you have already dispatched. What are they telling you so far in the pre-election observation that they are making?
Mm-hmm. So indeed, we have a team of long-term observers that are in many places across Kenya. They have been deployed just recently, so they are getting their feet on the ground, and they're doing similar kinds of observations as we are. So they're talking to different responsible actors, responsible for organizing the elections, local government representatives, going to different events on the elections, talking to civil society in the region. And we will be hearing from them when they have a better sense of what is going on. And our preliminary statement after the elections, as well as the final report a lot later, will take on board all of their observations, which we will compare and contrast and add to the observations and input from experts and short-term observers as well. So we're really at the start of that process right now.
My name is Ainga Okwemba from KBC English Service Radio. Now, we've had allegations from the opposition that we have secret polling stations. Is it in your province to investigate and verify these allegations? Because then they will impact on the final results when they are announced.
Our mission has very clear guidelines and methodologies to observe elections according to Kenyan law and the commitments of all Kenyan governments to international law. We do this independently and impartially. We are not investigators.
Thanks. John Ackley from the Financial Times. Two questions. One, you didn't answer my colleague's question from the Standard about your discussions with the main protagonists. So could you please answer that, what you took away from them? And secondly, how ready do you think the IEBC is to hold a free, fair, credible and transparent election? And what do you think their main items, or what are the main items on their to-do list between now and August the 8th? Thank you.
So the kinds of discussions we're having now, or I've had, are about to what extent the different actors are ready, what elements of the process, from registration to the organization, to the testing and verifying of materials. These are questions that we have asked, and we are waiting for more details to see, where things stand. So it is really not something I can give any conclusive answers about right now, because we're in the process of getting more information, having conversations with people in different layers and different departments of all the organizations and administrations to get a better sense of how things are going and where they stand. So one of the meetings I've had this week, and I'm sure there will be many more, was with the IEBC. They have come out and said that they are ready. Those are their own words that you can find. We are more interested in looking at the details of the process and looking at how that is going from, as I mentioned, registration to distribution to the materials. And we are not at a point of making any conclusive remarks about that right now.